was shot today, Chicago. Stand up. Stand up.
As the suspect was taken away, his friend refused to leave the scene.
You have to get going. Otherwise, we are going to put the cuffs back on you. You're going to be arrested for disorderly conduct.
I'm not doing nothing.
You are being disorderly.
This is what we go through every day.
Every day.
Cops.
They are control. We did see that guy. There was a young guy that was taken down who had a little pistol in his pocket. And so, in that respect, it seems to be...
Niggas with guns is out of control, too, but these cops is out of control. That stopping first shit is out of control.
Somebody called about you. They gave your description, your shirt, your pants, your shoes. They said that... Now, I can go to radio and let you hear it again. Well, yes, we did get a gun. Show them the gun. We got the gun. All right? See, the problem was they called about him. His bull had the gun. All right? So, were we wrong? We got a gun on the street. Now, let's take it a different twist now, all right? Since you bring it up. Let's say dude wants to start shooting and your little man gets hit. Then what?
Then I gotta get my gun and come out here and start shooting.
That's the problem that we have. That's the problem that we have, and that's what we're here doing. You understand that?
So then we prevented that.
That's it. Stop. Hey, hold up. Stop. I'm going home.
No, you're not.
I'm going home. I'm going home.
This is what you get in America right here. This is what you get.
Just one final question on your gun proposal, since you just released it this morning. Your competitor in the 2020 race, Congressman Eric Swalwell, has also, like you, proposed an assault weapons ban, but he's proposing a buyback program where Americans who currently have those guns could sell them, essentially, to the government. But if they don't, within a certain period of time, they would be prosecuted, so subject to be thrown in jail, perhaps. Are you supportive of the same measure?
Well, first of all, when I was mayor of the city of Newark, again, I have a record on dealing with gun violence. We did a lot of gun buybacks and even other creative ideas that I think we should have when I'm president of the United States. The critical thing is, I think most Americans agree that these weapons of war should not be on our streets.
But would you prosecute people? Do you support the government buying them back? And if not, potentially people could go to jail if they don't want to sell them back. Yes or no?
Again, we should have a law that bans these weapons, and we should have a reasonable period in which people can turn in these weapons. Right now, we have a nation that allows, in streets and communities like mine, these weapons that should.
Reeves agrees, says taking a person's guns before they even have a chance to defend themselves in court is a violation of their rights.
The bill violates the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 8th, the 14th Amendment. It's just a very poorly written bill.
He's also worried about potential danger in showing up unannounced to seize weapons. The gun owner was killed in Maryland last year when police tried to do just that. Reeves says he won't enforce the bill if it becomes law, but ignoring it would mean ignoring a court order from a judge. Fine sheriffs could be found in contempt, which could mean being fined or put in jail until they comply.
Are you willing to sit in your own jail in order to avoid enforcing this law?
Well, obviously, no sheriff wants to be confined in their own jail, but that's what it takes to get this bill ironed out. Then I guess that's a sacrifice that I'll be forced to make.
In a statement, Colorado's Attorney General said he is confident that when and if the time comes, all law enforcement officials will follow the rules of law.
It sounds to me like he thinks you're bluffing. Are you?
No, I've explained that time and time again. I'm not bluffing.
Sheriff Reeves even took us on a tour of the jail he could find himself locked up in.
Have you given any thought to what it would actually be like to spend a night in one of these?
So here's yes, I have. It's a matter of doing what's right.
Are you going to lose any sleep over a county sheriff sitting in his own jail over his refusal to enforce this? No, what I'm going to lose sleep over is if that's the choice that they make and someone loses their life. Someone in crisis goes on a shooting spree, someone commits suicide, that's what I'll lose sleep over.
The bill passed in the Colorado State Senate by just a single vote on Thursday and now heads back to the House next week for a final vote before landing on the governor's desk. Scott McLean, CNN, Denver.
Organization is giving weapons a new purpose.
Replace tools of violence with tools that bring life. So whether it's food or from your garden, or just being able to sit in a beautiful garden and creating spaces that people like is really what we're trying to create here.
Mike Martin runs Raw Tools, which turns guns into gardening tools. He started it 3 months after the Sandy Hook school shooting, repurposing weapons that are donated or confiscated.
The first gun came from a retired public defender in Colorado Springs. He donated an AK-47, and he had bought that after 9/11 as a way of defending himself. And then when Sandy Hook happened, he realized it was fantasy that he was living in. Those are his words.
Raw Tools is a faith-based organization inspired by Old Testament scriptures of turning swords into plowshares. Martin says in his first 3 years, he only collected a few dozen guns. But with mass shootings becoming more prevalent, more people have been inspired to get rid of their weapons.
I feel like there's a trigger problem, and that trigger problem is in our hearts and in the streets. That when those things combine, it's not a good outcome.
Raw Tools has turned 400 guns into garden tools so far.
I would say that the politicians in this country, in Australia, have missed the boat entirely, and they've harmed a lot of people who didn't deserve harming with their laws and their approach to it.
A gun buyback that forced law-abiding citizens to surrender their firearms in a nationwide roundup and meltdown of both semi-automatic firearms, pump-action rifles, and shotguns. 640,000 ordinary conventional firearms confiscated and destroyed. Hard facts, the anti-gun forces can no longer escape. Armed robberies have skyrocketed, up 69%. Assaults involving guns rose 28%. Gun murders increased 19%. And a new phenomenon, home invasions jumped 21%. An increase politicians insist they can't explain.
What's happening today is that the offender, the bad guys, are happy to break into somebody's house. They're not frightened to break into somebody's house while they're at home.
Gun laws that have backfired. And Australians who have been forced to hide behind bars and bed bubbles. Some are even installing extensive security systems.
It's disgusting that almost every day we learn of another person being terrorised, robbed and attacked in their home. For Christ's sake, get a bit of vision.
Carrying signs and chanting, "We want justice," more than 2,000 angry Australians delivered a personal message to Parliament's doorstep. They're fed up with false promises and sick and tired of living.
The bottom line is people want to know that they have a right to defend themselves.
They're warning to Americans, don't think it can't happen to you. It can, and it already is.